Hello everyone, Shadefire here, and the first of the big DLCs for Fallout 4 has finally come out, Far Harbor. So I figured I'd do a little video on that, because I'm sure somebody's interested in Fallout 4 still, despite all the people that are like, eh. Which, you know, I'm one of those people. I wasn't super thrilled on playing Fallout 4 when it first came out. Mostly because the end game really ruined it for me, considering you basically play the same mission from 3 different perspectives. So we're going to skip ahead to Far Harbor, because I was going to show off how you get there, but it's actually not very interesting. So I'll just kind of give you the layout. So I've already played a little bit of this, but not too much. I've just kind of done the basic welcome to the DLC missions. Alright, so here we are. This right here is the actual kind of town of Far Harbor. The whole island isn't called Far Harbor. Just this little port kind of place here. But they're in a pretty bad way. They've basically been pushed back to living just up against the piers here. There's the boat I used to get here.
They'll tell you Grandpa George was everybody's favorite.
Got a nice little Mirelurk pot here where they're boiling them away.
Mainlander like you stands no chance against the Rovers.
Basically, we took this ship here after some guy contacts the Valentine Detective Agency, says, hey, you know, I knew Nick Valentine and I need him to find my daughter who's gone missing. Sound familiar to another Fallout 3 DLC? Daughter goes missing and runs off to some island. Well, this time, it's a daughter who is good with machinery, fixed up some radio, and came into contact with the synths here on Far Harbor, who have kind of convinced her that she's probably also a synth, since she's been having dreams about the Institute, essentially. But these people are in a bad way. Essentially, there's this radioactive fog, that's just called the fog, that makes the island pretty dangerous and kind of spawns all sorts of horrible monsters. And these fog condensers are what keeps it from overrunning this last part of the town. But we're doing some missions here, and we're just about to head out to the synth colony, which these people are aware of, but only one of them actually knows where it is. There's also a bunch of new weapons. This is one of them here, the, what is this, the pole hook, I think it's called? Oop, that's not what I wanted. Let's see, show off these while I've got them. I also do have a bunch of mods installed still, so I'll try to point out which stuff is mod and which stuff is new. Like this lever-action rifle, this is new. Not very useful for me, though, because I don't have rifles spec'd on this build. I only have 3 points into single-shot rifles, and no points in automatics. I'm mostly pistol and melee spec'd. The harpoon gun is new. This was something that was cut from the original game. Also, I don't have any harpoons, so I can't show you what it does, but it shoots harpoons. The meat hook is kind of your fast melee weapon. The pole hook is the one I've been using. This thing actually does more damage now than my super sledge, which is kind of ridiculous considering it's just a hook on a stick, but you know, you want your DLC weapons to be better than what you start with. You got the radium rifle, which is a, you know, kind of assault rifle, but it also does radiation damage. Seems alright. Obviously it's better against humans than mutants because they don't take radiation damage. Anything else? Oh yeah, and I got the Striker, which is a special fat man that shoots bowling balls. Which is a unique weapon, but you can mod any fat man to do this, I think. Or at least you can turn this one back into a regular fat man. The fire axe is a mod thing, so I'll go back to my pole hook. Alright, let's go talk to this guy who's going to lead us through the fog and to the synth colony. Where this girl has apparently run off to. I don't know how she got there on her own.
You don't like the service, there's the door.
Where's this guy? Old Longfellow.
You ready to head to it?
Perfect.
Oh, I didn't even know there was a thing.
Katie,
No, take your time. Illiterate, keep me
Let's
fed.
go, Longfellow.
follow me.
Oh, one other thing I should show off is one of the great pieces of armor I found. Aside from this fisherman hat, I've also found this, the lobster trap helmet. This is worn by a type of raider called the Trappers. And yeah, it's just a lobster trap that they're wearing on their head. So obviously there's new weapons, it's a new location, new enemies, new settlements. Yep, in case you were really hoping there was more settlements.
But it'll help.
Mirelurk Jerky. I think that's new too. Poison resist, perception. Whatever, I'll eat that.
We need to move through the old mountain trail where we're. The fog.
And if you look here, you can see how big the map is. You can see it's fairly large. I'd say it's about the same size as Point Lookout, or bigger. I don't know. The scale on this is harder to tell because you can see I've already walked across the island. I haven't been everywhere, but I've walked across it from where we start. And it didn't take that long.
Like nothing you've seen in Commonwealth. Mainlanders think a dose of radioactive is all you need.
Now I think it's my anti-radiation gear, but you can see I'm only taking one rad from this fog.
Trappers were mean to begin with, but
And there's something here too about how apparently the children of Adam showed up, and ever since the fog's been worse, so maybe they're powering it somehow. It's maybe not as dramatic as I had hoped when they talked about that stuff before it came out, because it just kind of seems like, yeah, it's fog and it's radioactive.
mountain trail. We stick to this and make it to Acadia. Game trails crisscross the road, so don't be surprised if we got local wildlife to deal with.
So far, the main new wildlife I've seen is giant salamanders called gulpers. Also wolves. They're like dogs, but black.
Take 'em all. You like them puppies? We grow everything extra mean on the island. Still got a ways to go.
I like that this guy's like the guide through the fog, but he doesn't even have like a gas mask or anything. Nope, just suck that shit back, you'll be fine.
Crawler, they usually stick to the deep fog. Best we steer clear, but you never know.
Maybe the deep fog is what I'm thinking of. I haven't really seen anything that looks different though.
Whole island was covered in fog. The fog eventually rolled back. People resettled, but they got comfortable. Started taking things for granted. Folk got short memories. All this has happened before.
And I guess the fog probably doesn't bother the synths much. Aside from the creatures it spawns. I was really hoping this DLC might have the giant
Fresh water.
catfish mirelurks that were in the Fallout 3.
Parts is a fair challenge. Now the big ones, they can grow 2-3 times the size of a man. Good thing you don't see too many of them around.
Yeah, I haven't seen any big gulpers. I was gonna say the catfish mirelurk from the Fallout 3 concept art, which are just big hulking, walking catfish men. I've also seen some anglers, which are, as you'd expect, big walking anglerfish type things, that I think shoot fireballs. I don't know, there's a part where you have to defend the town at the very beginning of the DLC, and it's kind of a mess, so it's hard to tell what's what.
Stringing one more soul to their damnation, old man?
Well, what have we here? Another rad worshipping lunatic. That's what.
Your barbs do not harm me. I am shielded by my faith.
How about bullets? faith shield you against those too?
Who's she?
One of them children of Adam preachers started off as pests. Now they're more like a menace.
Do not sully this one with your blasphemy, old man. You. I suggest you go no further. Acadia is a nest of snakes. Beasts that subvert the will of Adam.
Is she mad because the Acadians have some sort of nuclear reactor?
What's Acadia done to make you distrust them?
They supply Far Harbor with the means to turn back Adam's holy fog. You'd do well to avoid such creatures, and instead seek the only true master of this land.
I thought children of Adam were, like, immune to radiation. She certainly doesn't look immune to radiation.
Yeah, whatever you say.
Watch yourself, outsider. You walk through Adam's kingdom now.
If you're done wasting time with a fanatic, let's move.
I mean, the children of Adam on the mainland are all completely
Wanna get out
hostile.
of here?
Where'd you come from?
Make pretty ghouls.
Up ahead, the air's clean. No fog.
Piper hated that.
It's not too far now.
Look, Piper. You can't agree with everything I do. It's okay, all I have to do is pick some locks and she'll be loving me again. Ugh, can't resist compulsion to scavenge for materials. Especially because I don't have any materials right now. You know, all your settlement stuff is back on the mainland, so if I want to upgrade any of these new guns, I gotta find new stuff. It's like a observatory or a greenhouse.
And we've arrived. Acadia's already been watching us for a good spell. If you want to talk with them, just go inside. They'll be waiting for you. You need my help again, you come see me.
Oh boy, I got myself a settlement.
Outside of Far Harbor. Good place to tool up your gear, get some rest, or get stinking drunk. Just make sure if you're bringing a bottle of something strong, there's enough to share.
Leaving already? Don't you want to see what happens next?
You saying you want me to stick around and watch your back?
Are you a new companion? Sure.
You should come with me. I can still use your help.
All right. Why the hell not? Beats drinking alone.
Alright, Piper, I'll see you back in the the Commonwealth. Send you to Sanctuary.
In my grave, costly tombstone I have. Just lay me down in my peak with a jug of
I mean, he does have a nice
my
jacket.
head in my feet.
That seems like good enough reason to keep him around.
You know, when I first climbed this mountain above the fog, I thought to myself, now here is a metaphor worth taking in. You've entered a place of clarity, understanding, peace. While you're here in Acadia, Synthkind welcomes you as long as you welcome us.
Is he like the prototypist prototype of the synths?
I came here looking for Kasumi Nakano.
Really, I'm impressed. Few would brave the kind of journey you've had for the sake of someone else. Kasumi is here. She's safe and unharmed, and you're free to see her if you'd like. Before you do, though, tell me, do you think Kasumi is a synth?
Why are you asking?
Because she came here with that very question, and the answer changes every part of her world. None of us take this transition lightly. She's facing the possibility of her entire life being a lie, that someone stripped her very identity from her and made her into something she isn't, I want you to understand that before you see her. She has a chance here to live as a synth, not hiding, not pretending to be something else. One more question, if you'll indulge me. You're here for Kasumi, but I suspect there could be another reason you came to us. Tell me, are you a synth?
No, I think this is the one case where I can definitely say I'm not a synth.
I'm a human being, not a synth.
Are you sure? I don't mean to question you.
I've been frozen for
What's the
the
first
hundreds of
memory
years.
you have?
The first memory I have is the day the bombs fell, because that's where the game starts.
I remember being in my house the day the bombs fell. We ran to the vault. We were frozen. I was the only survivor.
No memories before then? Just a single day, and then waking up alone? We so
I think I was like a
easily
lawyer or
accept
something
what's
before that.
presented to us as the truth, don't we? Isn't it funny how a memory can feel like a whole different reality? People, places, even sounds and colors can change. Or someone else has changed them. I won't lie to you. There will always be.
He also doesn't question the fact that we were frozen for hundreds of
Trauma,
years.
Disease, the background radiation. They all take their toll on the mind. But I can promise you that we will accept you, no matter what you decide you are.
Thank you. You've given me a lot to think about.
I'm glad to hear it. Acadia is open to you. Feel free to walk the grounds. Introduce yourself to my co-founders, Faraday and Chase, and I'm sure you're eager to talk to Kasumi. She's usually working down below. Is there anything else you need from me?
I'm in the Brotherhood. I'm here to kill you all. I'm not actually even in the Brotherhood in this save.
Who are you? What's your...
I came to this island over a century ago.
Ran away from the
But after
Institute.
my escape felt secured,
Had nothing in
I was
life.
left with nothing.
Sure.
One day, it finally occurred that maybe I could decide, was there anything else?
I should get going.
Of course.
I mean, normally I'd go through all of his dialogue, but for the course of this, we'll actually do some stuff.
I'm fine. You worry too much.
Sometimes I feel like you don't worry enough. You know we blew 3 more relays this week. I'm coming in. You stay right there.
Just, get comfortable. Alright, so I guess maybe the main conflict in this will be between the synths and the Children of Adam? I mean, there's a guy in the town that also wants to kill the Children of Adam, so they just kind of seem like generally the bad guys. Which I'm sure that doesn't mean you can't side with them. Look at all these new computer models. I don't think there's actually anything up here. Oh, that's probably the radio.
Enough time keeping up with repairs before all this nonsense with the atom lunatics.
They're nothing you need to be concerned about.
It's not them. I'm concerned about you, Dima. You can't solve all the world's problems. Certainly not all at once.
Dearest Faraday, relax. All will be fine.
So did they just stick all this stuff in him afterwards to make him continue functioning? Or was that like the Institute? They're like, let's just put more vacuum tubes in him, then he'll be better.
So, you've talked to Dima.
Alright, Faraday Cage, what's
You
your
know
story?
why we're here. I certainly hope that you'll consider helping us. Dima's vision is worth fighting for.
Yuri Lowenthal, is that you again? Are you a synth?
So you're a synth?
I am. I hope that's not a problem for you. Dima has worked hard to create a place for us where we can be safe from those who don't accept us. He's put so much of himself into this, all his time and energy devoted to helping others. He never stops to think of himself. Sometimes I worry about, well, if I wasn't here to make sure his equipment is all functional. And that's not even mentioning maintaining the fog condensers. There's so many things to keep track of.
I guess the town and the synths are friendly, though, because Obviously, they gave them the fog condensers. Why is the camera slowly drifting down? Could you always do that? Look around, kind of off camera. Just let it drift.
I'm sorry, I thought you were going to...
Seems like he's letting
Sorry,
out
I
the
was
helping.
Thank you.
drifting off,
That's
literally.
very kind.
Can you tell me about the fog condensers?
Oh, those? Dima and I designed them when it Dima insisted we provide them to the people of Far Harbor.
If there's anything I can do...
Well, if you're determined to help, there is something you could do. There's a boat along the coast of the island. The boat never finished the trip, you see. So
Sure.
my understanding is that the boat wrecked southward.
Sure thing, Faraday.
Thank you.
I was also hoping this DLC would have those mutant dolphins you see washed up everywhere.
You track Kasumi here. I'm impressed. Perhaps not as quietly or efficiently as possible. I'm afraid your journey...
I wanted to see for myself that she's safe.
You have my word.
I didn't even talk to her.
Acadia is a safe haven for synths.
She just came up and
Were
talked
it
to me.
not, I would not have aided anyone in reaching it. Every synth I've tracked down, every synth
I guess she's a
convinced to come
courser,
here, has
based on
been
the outfit.
assured that he or she will come to no harm. My job is to make sure they all remain safe, no matter what. Understand?
How do you find them? I'm a courser.
How do you manage to track down synths and bring them here?
I have a network of contacts throughout the area. Some from my time with the Institute, some after. I know the Institute's tactics, and use that to my advantage. You have Dima's blessing, so by all means, make yourself comfortable.
This is also weird because I haven't gotten to the Institute in my playthrough. So, the fact that she just takes us at face value without being like, Institute? Is that even real? It's kind of weird. But I guess they assume everyone's done that by now, so it doesn't matter.
I'd like to help you all. Is there anything I can...
Actually,
Give me a
as
job.
a matter of fact, there is. If you're serious about... You've had some experience traveling around the island.
All right, I'm listening.
We were expecting a new synth to arrive.
Sure.
There's been no sign of him.
I'll find out...
You should start by talking to Brooks in Far. He's the one who meets the new arrivals and gets them started on the journey.
Right.
Of course, he's not likely to tell you. If he doesn't cooperate, tell him that his designation is L7. That's as much help as I can give you for now.
Sure, we'll threaten him, and then he'll tell us. Alright, so let's go out and do some adventuring. Enough chit-chatting with the locals. So I also have a quest from one of the townsfolk to hunt down some variety of monster, a fog crawler, which sounds like it's probably about the equivalent to a Myler Queen in difficulty. Alright, so just gonna head north from here, and we'll kill this thing, and then I think we'll call it, because obviously you get a pretty good idea of what this is. It's more Fallout 4. It's maybe a bit more atmospheric and more interesting, I think, than the main game, but that's kind of always the way with the DLCs for Bethesda games. They just can't write a long-term story, which is why the main story for every Bethesda game is always so bad, by comparison to the side stuff. Is that a wolf? That's something coming after me. It's just a Yaogwai. That's a new animation, I think. The stagger with no head. That was ghouls for a second. Nope, just some of these new trappers. Just kind of fell to pieces on me there. I guess I do have a couple points in Bloody Mess. This is my second character. I started this character pretty much just to play the DLCs without having to screw with any of the faction stuff, because that stuff kind of sucks. And so I could make ridiculous mod settlements, because with enough mod, settlement stuff is actually a bit more interesting if you like building stuff. I will say melee combat in this game, not very interesting. You basically just run up and swing at people and sometimes block. But it is pretty powerful. Is he missing arms? Or do they just look really awkward when they don't have a gun? Okay, so he has trapper armor, which is also new. And another crappy legendary piece. I'll take these trapper pieces. I actually didn't check if those were better than my combat armor. Heavy trapper... Oh, this is actually better, but not the chest piece. That's because my chest piece is upgraded. We'll put that on. Yep, it totally matches the rest of my armor. Alright, where's this critter at? Just up the coast. What's this shiny light in the water? Oh yeah, they do spit some sort of shit at you. Oh, that did a lot of damage. I might want to heal. Are these anglers too, or...? Oh, that's kind of neat. So there's plants that look like them that they hang out near. Which means there's probably another one over here. Kind of cheating if... Gulper Devourer. It's kind of cheating if you can just, VATS them to find them. Ow. Should be blocking this guy. Pop a little bit of Radway so I can get my health back. Let's switch to a gun. That's not a gun. That's a gun. So there's a fucking gulper hanging from this tree. Gulpers actually do have a lot of health. Oh boy. There's a young one. I want to use this thing instead. Or my super OP rifle if I can find it. This thing. The 223 revolver. Critter should be over here. How many plasma grenades? Because that would come in handy here. Yes, I do. I don't really use grenades a lot, but they are pretty powerful even with the upgrades. Do a little save scumming. That doesn't look that big. What exactly is that, though? It's a bit like a praying mantis, some sort of big lobster creature.
Guess we got no choice.
It also is ignoring me? Oh, that's not very threatening. I did like no damage. Doing more damage just dumping shots into it. it's just like a big shrimp thing. Maybe it's like a crayfish, I guess? Well, that was disappointing. I was expecting some sort of big, horrible monster. Yeah, barnacles. See these things? You see them everywhere, but you never actually see them in the water. So if you look at the map, you can see the edge of the map. There's like another island that you can't get to. Which is weird, because they kind of make it sound like this is out in the middle of the ocean. Dalton Farm, this sounds like it's probably another settlement. Yeah, there's a workbench right there. Can't use this workshop until the fog is cleared. So I'm wondering if that's like an endgame thing at the end of the DLC's questline. You'll just clear out the fog and then start building stupid settlements here. You cannot go that way. Which I'm wondering, like, if you side with the Children of Adam, if you can, and the fog doesn't disperse, just gets worse, can you still, you know, build settlements here? And more important question, can you connect those settlements to your mainland settlements so you don't need a separate supply line here? Because if not, that'd be a real pain in the ass. But yeah, that's Far Harbor. It's pretty neat so far. I don't know if it's I don't know if it's kind of better than Point Lookout, which is what it gets compared to a lot, since it's obviously a similar go out to some island kind of setting. Mainly because visually this doesn't look very different from the main game. The main game already has a bunch of, you know, destroyed forests like this. It doesn't quite have this heavy rolling fog, though I do have a mod that adds fog. But, you know, a lot of this does look very similar. But yeah, it's nice to be playing some Fallout 4 that is taking place somewhere else, and the new questlines do seem decent so far. So yeah, I'll probably keep playing this all the way through, and who knows when the next DLC will come, since this is kind of the last one they've actually talked about. Presumably there will be a next one, since they, you know, jacked up the price of the Season Pass, saying that, oh, there's going to be so much more content than we expected. Which, if you didn't get the Season Pass before, I want to say March was when they changed it. It was like 30 originally, or 30 or 40, and then it went up to 60. And this DLC by itself is like $30 now. So, I kind of want to say, like, if you didn't get the Season Pass when it was cheap, this is probably not worth it until it goes on sale, you know, later this year. But if you did play it, or did get it, and you're not sick of Fallout 4, then yeah, I don't see a reason not to give this a go. I'm having fun with it so far.
Got it.
Anyhow, I've been Shadefire, this is Fallout 4's Far Harbor DLC, and I will see you again some other time. I might have a little bit of something planned with Fallout 4, if there's anyone still interested in actually seeing more of this game. But it might be a short little series until something terrible happens to me, thanks to the survival mode. But until then, you folks all take care, and stay out of the fog.